We'll be in Exodus 14, verse 21 through 25 today. Let me read those verses to you. Verse 21 says this, "Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove the sea back by a strong east wind all night, made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the people of Israel went into the midst of the sea on the ground, the waters being a wall to them on their right and on their left. The Egyptians pursued and went in after them in the midst of the sea, all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, his horsemen. And in the morning watched the Lord in the pillar of fire and cloud, looked down on the Egyptian forces, and threw the Egyptian forces into a panic, clogging their chariot wheels so that they drove heavily. And the Egyptians said, 'Let us flee before Israel, for the Lord fights for them and against the Egyptians.'" You know, this was a real wake-up call for the Egyptians. It shows you that God had truly hardened their hearts. They should have already known that God was fighting for the Israelites after the plagues and after the death of the firstborn. They should have known. And now they get to the Red Sea. And once the Red Sea was driven back, you would have thought that the Egyptians would have known, we probably shouldn't go in to that dry ground, because what if their God closes it down? And their God did. And the Israelites watched. They made it in safely. The Egyptians would not make it in safely. It was just a picture of the faithfulness of God. When He says He's going to do something, He does it. He did not deliver them from bondage for no reason. He was taking them to a place so He could secure a land, so He could send a Son who would redeem us from our sins, who would be raised and exalted on our behalf, that through faith in His work we might be saved. God is faithful to finish what He started, and God will let nothing get in the way of what He's doing and with His glory. As the Israelites walked across dry land, that's all they were really able to do. They did not have the resources or the weaponry to fight the Egyptians, but God did. I hope you understand something today, that God in His grace and mercy has raised you to walk in newness of life. He has given you the resources of His Word and His Spirit, and He has promised that He is going to be faithful. Do you have the courage to trust Him to finish what He started? I hope you do.